Today I'm going to discuss about that Java introduction. So we will discuss today about that Java introduction. Okay, so Java, we are doing that most popular programming language. So what is the feature that we will understand? So actually first thing is that it is third generation programming language. Third generation programming language. Another thing is that it is a high level programming language and it is object oriented programming language. Object oriented programming language. Another thing is that Java is developed by James Gosling. So developed by James Gosling. So this programming language is developed by James Gosling and in 1991. So but actually it was developed for that different purpose. It is developed for the portability, but after that it is developed by in 1990 by Sun Microsystems. What is the company name? Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems. One more thing is that about the Java. Java is portable. Java is secured programming language. So each all things about the Java we will discuss, and we will do that in a programming section further. Here that we understand this is truly object-oriented programming language, and we are going to understand about the Java programs. So Java programs type. Java programs type. Only two types of program we can develop by the Java. First thing is that Java applets. So first thing is that Java applets, and another thing is that Java applications. That is known as stand-alone application. Stand-alone applications. We understand that what is this. When we are going to write that Java applets, we understand that in websites we are seeing that all that features of that website, web pages, where all the advertisements and all that forms of that submission form that all coming, that we can create interactive online forms, and that is known as applets. And Java application, that means standalone applications of program or software we can develop with the help of Java. Now we understand about that another portion of the Java, that is how Java works and how Java performs that operations and which type of features Java contain. Okay, we understand that thing. We are going to discuss about the Java features. That means, so we will understand about that Java features. Which type of features of the Java programming language? First is that this is object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented. Second one is that it is platform independent. Okay, platform independent means that you can say it can run at any platform in respect of hardware or software. That means when we are going to perform that, we are going to run the Java programs, we can run in a MS-DOS operating system, in a Windows operating system, in a Unix operating system. That means different types of operating system and different types of hardware that is available in a computer. But Java is capable to run in anywhere, in any platform. Second, third thing is that Java provides that about the features that most important is that this is secure and robust. This is completely robust and secure programming language where in a Java when we write any program or any develop any program that we can run in an internet environment, that means network environment, but it is secured completely. No virus infections are there, no anybody can hack this type of software that is developed by Java. Robust, that is completely possible and eligible to perform anywhere at any time or longer. Next thing is that about the Java, this is multi-threaded. That means multiple tasks of one program that Java can handle and Java can perform in different threads. That threads are known as the different tasks, particular task of the program. In a one program, multiple tasks are there, and multiple tasks Java can perform together, all together of one program. So another thing is that about the Java, that is Java is provides that compile and interpreted. That means Java is only one first programming language which is having compilation method and interpretation method. That means Java provides the features of compilation and interpretation both. That means compiler will be there and interpreter will be there. Both will work together in a Java. Okay, and in such a way that you can say that Java is working. Second thing is that Java provides the distributed environment also. That means Java can work with the different programmer and with the different components that can be added, and as a module that we can create, and we can module that we can centralize at one program and we can use this one. That means we can distinguish this in different modules, or one big complex program we can break in different modules and we can perform all together again in a Java. That is the feature of Java. Okay, so we understand next section, that is in available. Now we will understand about the concept of OOPS. Concept of OOPS. OOPS we understand. OOPS understand that OOP full form is that object oriented programming structure. So concept of OOPS means that OOPS means object-oriented programming structure. Sometimes we say these terms like that, object-oriented programming approach, OOPA. Okay, so what is the technique and what is that approach we are using in OOPS that we understand? First of all, we understand that what is the purpose of this one concept of OOPS in Java. So we understand that this is the concept, this is that completely another concept of OOPS. This is known as OOPS concept or technique or concept. Okay, this is completely separate things, and this is completely one concept that we are going to implement in our Java program. That means Java programs are based on this concept. Whatever we are having the different concept, this one is another thing, separate and individual separate things from that any programming language. So Java using this concept OOPS. One other programming language that is like C++ also using that concept of OOPS. So many more programming languages nowadays, that C# also using, so Python also using. That means this is that we can understand these all the programming languages are using the concept of OOPS to make the program based on the concept of features of the object-oriented programming language. So we understand that Java programming language is that different things, and concept is that different thing. That programming language will implement the concept of OOPS for different specific purpose that we will discuss now. So what is that features of OOPS we understand first, and what is that principle or components of OOPS. So now here we understand about that Java in respect of Java. So but OOPS is different thing. OOPS is separately different concepts. And after that, when you will write that concept of this program, Java will run the program written by you and performing that operations program based on object. That means real entity. That means securing the data. This is most important thing and important concept of these type of programs. Okay, so those all programs completely concepts following that of the object, that is securing the data, most important thing. But previously or traditional programming language we are using before this third generation, that we are only securing, that we are only focusing on that method or the task which we are performing. But this one is emphasizing that data security. Now we understand about that concept of OOPS. What is that principle and what is that concept of OOPS that we understand? So OOPS having that different principles. So first is that data abstraction. What that means, abstraction. We can say that first one is that abstraction. What is that concept of OOPS? ABSTRACTION. First is that abstraction. Abstraction means what we understand. Second one is that encapsulation. Third one is that inheritance. Fourth one is that polymorphism. Okay. Fifth one is that according to your syllabus that is given here in your book, that fifth one is that given, not given. Okay. These four are given, but you understand these all. So these two, fifth and sixth, this is most important because these four basics are in common programming languages like C, C++, Java. But Java having that these two special features also, including these two, that Java. But this is applicable by the C++. But these complete features is implemented with the Java. So that's why Java is known as truly object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented. Okay. So that means we can say that these two also implemented with the Java, and Java implementing overall complete principle of the OOPS. That's why Java is truly object-oriented programming language. C# using only these four. So abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, or polymorphism. Okay. Now this one, what is two extra that is Java supporting also, that we understand. First one is that exception handling and multi-threading. Okay, so that means we can understand that what is that concept and principles of this. One by one we understand what is that abstraction, then encapsulation, then inheritance, then polymorphism. That we understand one by one. What is that principle and what is that concept of object abstraction. First one we discuss about that abstraction. Okay. Now we understand abstraction. As a name suggested, that topic, that abstraction, that means something essential things are shown and non-essential things are hidden. Abstraction is actually the data abstraction. What is this concept? That so the essential things, whatever important, if not important and not essential, that you can hide that one. So we understand in such a way. Suppose that one person going to purchase some medicine. So one person going to ask to that medicine, that here, that is medicine. So medico store, and you are that person or that person that asking. What is asking? That asking one medicine. Okay. So when you are asking one medicine to the medical store, what is that medical store giving to you? You are asking with that medical store why this one thing is that you are asking only the medicine name. You are giving that medicine name. What is giving? Giving medicine name and number of pieces. Number of pieces. Yes or no? You are going to ask to the medical store that this particular medicine you have. So if you have that, you give me 10 pieces or 5 pieces, and what will be the cost? That means medical store, how much having that in stock, how much stock they are having, what is that DP, distributed price or cost price, and where kept. These all things are not essential to that person. That means medical store having that some medicine that you are asking how much cost price of this one medicine, that is not important to you. How much stock they are having in a medical store, medical shopkeeper that having that how much stock of that medicine, this is also not important for that customer. And this is also not having that where they have kept the medicine. So what you need to keep that, where you need to check there, or that place where you have kept, you show me? No, you are only asking and you are only requiring, you require only that number of medicine, that particular name of the medicine, and the number of pieces, that how much you need and how much you have to pay. Only these three things you need. That means these all things are not necessary for you only. That what is necessary? Necessary is that you are giving that name, you are giving that pieces, and you are giving that cost. You are asking that cost. You are asking that cost, and that medical stores providing you that these things. That means these three things are essential to customer provided by this. So that means whatever essential things that you are getting that, and whatever things are not essential, that how much cost and what is the cost price for the shopkeeper, where kept, these all things are not essential, that are not given to you. In such a way, when we are implementing these features, this concept in a program of Java, that is known as abstraction. One thing is you understand clear that suppose you are going to in our school, that suppose one student is there and students records is school maintaining that, but some inquiry at that inquiry counter, that one person came and asking about that particular name of the students, and he is having here that he came here today. That means suppose Ramesh is that student of our school, and some another person came to that inquiry counter and asking about that Ramesh is available here, what is that Ramesh came here today. So at that inquiry counter you will ask that something, what you will ask and what you will get that from the inquiry counter. If somebody will ask at that inquiry counter, so student's name he will provide. So what is about which student you want to get the detail, so which type of detail it will provided, all the details it will not be provided to you. That means in such a way, another example you take, when you are going to the bank, you are a customer, you are account holder of that bank, you are going to ask about that any employee of that bank. You can access, you can get that detail of the name and counter, at which counter that particular employee will be there. So you can get this one, and today that employee present or not in bank, that you can get. But you cannot ask that, you cannot get that from bank, that how much employee getting the salary, that particular employee. Employee also having that some restrictions with that different higher post employee or individual, like that one employee of the bank, they cannot ask, they cannot access the data, that is how much manager salary. That means at the different level we are implementing these things. Now one example of the real life, that you are going to access or use the car. You are accessing the car, you are using the car, that means you are using, you are not knowing that this car is, you are which things are you interacting? You are interacting with the steering, you are interactive with the brake, clutch and gear. These things you are knowing how to operate the car. But internally, car having many features. How car engine works, how car engine working, how car working with that steering, that rotating. We are not going to understand in detail. We are going to understand essential things for us as a driver, that only the car steering, car length and car rotation diameter, that how much car, in which diameter that car will turn, and car speed and how much gear is there. So we will use that with these all things. That means essential thing for the driver. What is that? That is important only, that you will access. When you are going to click from the camera any photograph, so what you are using is the digital phone. We are only using that with the one button. We are operating the digital camera for clicking the pictures. We are not going to get that complete details about that, how pictures are snaps are capturing and how it is stored in macro chip. So internally we are not going to access these things. We are going to access these things only. Suppose in a Java program, you are going to implement some program for that particular section, and that you are going to write any program, you will implement these things, that is known as abstraction, that is known as data abstraction. Okay. Next thing is that encapsulation. What is that? Encapsulation. As a name suggesting that encapsulation, that we understand by the term. When you have seen that this is object-oriented programming language, and what is that object? We understand that first. So each and every object of the real life object, about we talk about that, suppose this marker, mobile phone, t-shirt, whiteboard, book, copy, motorbike, car, each and every object in the real life having two things. First thing is that properties. Second is thinking that purpose. Properties, that means we define these properties with the term of the some value, like that marker when you discuss about this. So brand name, type of the marker, whiteboard marker or other type of marker, permanent marker or not. So this one point, how much point is there, and what is color of this marker, that means ink color, black, or body color, that's white. That means body type, fiber or plastic or whatever. That means you can one time usable, or you can refill, or you can re-ink that one. That means properties that we can define in the terms and the values, that is in numeric value, alphanumeric value, alphabets. That means this is known as representing with the data. Okay. So now purpose is that, what is the purpose of the marker for writing? That means writing is that one action of the marker. So we can perform some action that with that functions. So that means when we are going to discuss about any object will have two things. First thing is that properties, second thing is purpose. Purpose, that means behavior, that means work or action. Properties, that means quality, characteristics, and which type of characteristics or quality we can explain in term of data. So that means two things will be there, data and functions. When we come to that encapsulation, so OOPS concept when you will follow, that encapsulation you will follow, so wrapping of that. This is that capsule that I have made that one shape of that capsule type of, that you can understand. Having the two things. First thing is that data, and second is that functions or methods. Functions or methods. Okay, so that means we can say that an object will have two things, and both the things we will wrap together as a single unit. As a single unit. This complete when you will wrapping of data and functions together as a single unit. As a single unit. So it is called, that is object. That is object. When you are going to implement in our program in such a features, the data and methods will be implemented together as an object in a program when we will write the concept of this one. So that is known as encapsulation. Now we go for the next, that is polymorphism. What is that? Polymorphism. So what do you mean about that polymorphism? Third one is that polymorphism. You know that this term is made by two words, that poly or morph. Polymorphism means poly means many. Morph means forms. That means when you are going to implement such a way that one thing will work in different forms, that is known as polymorphism. In such way that one method, one function or method, when performs more than, actually more than one task. Clear? That means when any one method or function is performing at the different forms, that is known as, for the different purpose, that is known as polymorphism. How we will implement such a thing, that we understand. So we understand one thing with one example. Suppose you are going to perform some action, that is to find the volume, and when you are going to find the volume, we have written some code as in a method, and that method will perform the volume. Your method name is that one, volume. What is that? Volume. These volumes you can perform according to the type of that value that you are specifying. That volume for that square also, volume for that rectangle also, volume or for that circle also. That means when you are going to perform the volume, same method, same action for the different purpose, volume for the square, volume for the rectangle, volume for the circle. This is known as, so one volume method will perform different functions, that means different tasks. That is known as, here for the square volume, here for the rectangle, here volume for the circle. That means when one method will perform different tasks, name of the method is volume, and it will perform the same things. But when you will perform that square volume, so volume will be that name same, and you will specify here one side is there, because rectangle square will have that side on. When here rectangle is that, you will perform here that volume with that L and B, length and breadth. Here another that, two values you are accepting here. And circle, we are having that here one radius. So volume to perform that radius with the radius. That means one value here also. You understand only that concept is that when one method will perform the more than one task in different purpose and different forms, that is known as polymorphism. Like that you understand from yourself, like that when you are in school, you are a student. When you are at home, you are a boy, you are a brother, when you are performing on the stage, you are a performer. When you are playing on the playground, you are a player. So that means one person will have the different places, different personality. That is known as versatility, that is known as multiple talent. That you can say that one method is used for the different purpose. This is known as polymorphism. Okay. Now fourth one we understand, that is known as inheritance. Fourth one is inheritance. Inheritance. We understand that inheritance. What do you mean about that inheritance? When you will take that these terms with the biological term that inherit, in English term that inherit, that we understand that inheritance means acquiring the knowledge of the previous one, acquiring the knowledge of the senior, acquiring the knowledge of the body. That means acquiring something, some characteristics. That means when we are going to implement inheritance or concept of inheritance is that suppose one software is there. Okay, one software that is already working and existing. This is working software and working and old software. Okay, working and new software you want to create, but with the new features only. That means this software is working, but you want to add here one feature. So one new feature you want to add in this. So what you will do, if any software developer company developed one software that is working, you want to add here something, some concept, what they will do all the things together again? No, they will only add these features, they will only acquire these features of these all old one in a new system. So new system, new software, a new system will acquire, it will acquire the code. Those all coding you have done already, that will be acquired here, that will be used here. This concept is known as inheritance. Now understand one thing, that suppose HDFC Bank having that all the features and all the works there, but not having that concept of education loan. Okay, no any type of loan is there given, education or car loan or home loan. But bank decided that we will add there now from this year, so home loan or bank loan. So what that developer will do, what that programmer will do, all the coding that they have done and that is working in a system, they will use these coding, they will use in a new feature, and they will use now in this new feature both will be that. This software will be working also here, that is working, and it will acquire here. It will acquire that all the features, and now complete software will be that with the new system that we will use. This is known as inheritance. In the case of inheritance, we understand one thing more, that suppose one class that we have done the program, one class, when it is accessing that another new class, that is B, that means B is acquiring that features of A. B is going to access that all the features and all the coding or all the method that is done here, already working, and that we are using in B. So in such a situation, what will happen, that you understand, this is known as parent. This is known as parent class, and this is known as child class. That means you can say child class will acquire the features of parent class. Okay. Another thing is that you can say here this child class is known as parent class is known as super class, and this is known as subclass. Okay. One more thing is that you can say this one, that this is known as base class, and this is known as derived class, because this is derived from the previous one. Like that, one example of real life that you understand, your father's property, son is acquiring, that we are acquiring that all the properties, all that money, land, house, car, bike, all the things that we are acquiring, we are using. So this concept is known as inheritance. When we are going to implement in a programming this concept, these all four concepts, that is known as completely program based on object-oriented programming structure. Okay, so thank you.